Hello, hello, my wonderful St. Francis family. I am here with our section leader, one of our new section leaders, Emma Gorin. Say hi, Emma.
Hi.
So, just like if you have caught our last section leader interview with Nadira France, we just kind of informally asking some questions, getting to know Emma and letting Emma get to know the community a little better. So, Emma, tell me about your musical background. Have you sung anywhere else? Did you study music in school?
Yes. Well, I think I started playing the piano when I was 8 years old, and then I started singing pretty seriously from about 13 on. I got my bachelor's of music and voice performance from George Mason University in Fairfax, then went on to get my master's of music and vocal performance from Temple University. Since then, I've been freelance singing in the community and teaching at other churches. I was at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Reston, Virginia for a long time. I've subbed at First Baptist in the district and doing performances, musical theater, opera, and teaching a lot.
Wonderful. You mentioned you play the piano. I imagine that really helps out, especially as a section leader. You've got to be the most confident in the choir of what you're singing, and so I imagine being able to plunk out some of those notes really helps.
Except I don't play much anymore with these nails.
Yes, I would imagine the nails do make it a little difficult.
So I never had nails before because I was always playing the piano. And then when the pandemic happened and I had less singing work, I decided to treat myself to this little extravagance. And 2.5 years later, I can't seem to lay off of them. But maybe someday I'll go back to playing the piano again, seriously.
So you mentioned you sing opera. You obviously sing in a church format, musical theater. Do you have any favorite genre, any favorite style of music to sing, or just kind of love doing it all?
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on the season, depends on like what is being, asked of me. I do love opera. Yeah, who's hiring? Yeah, I find my cheeky answer as my favorite genre is whatever genre they're paying me to do that day. But the fact of the matter is, I think around Christmas time, I tend to feel more classical.
Absolutely.
Christmas means operatic high notes to me. But I also think musical theater has a lot of resonance for me personally because it's written in my native language, and so I think I can access some of those feelings a little bit more easily than maybe when I'm singing in another language, like often opera, is in another language. So
that's a really good point. We do generally tend to connect with music that we can understand naturally and immediately. Sometimes if you have to run through what you're singing through a translator, some of it's going to be lost.
Yeah, I think that like the difference between musical theater and opera is that musical theater, I find that I connect to the words and the text more, but in opera, the music is so visceral that you don't even maybe need to understand the words. Of course, I do my homework and know all my translations, but the music itself, like Puccini especially, it's like this bigger romantic music. It's so visceral that you connect to the musical line as opposed to musical theater, which has like such a smaller range kind of vocally. You connect to the storytelling aspect of that. So I think both genres really, for me, speak to me for different reasons.
Absolutely. So you mentioned opera. A few weeks ago, All Saints, November 6th, we got to hear you sing in German. Do you sing in any other languages? Do you have a favorite language to sing in?
Okay, I'm going to run through all the lists, the list of all the languages I've sung in. Okay, ready, go. Italian, German, French, Latin, Portuguese, Spanish, Russian, Czech,
Any Hebrew? Chichester?
Hebrew, Ladino. Okay, now I'm just showing off. I find that I really like singing in Italian probably the most, maybe because I've studied it the most extensively, but also because I think Italian is a really vowel-based language, so it's really easy to make long lines and phrases in Italian. German and Russian are such percussive languages that I find you have to work a little bit harder.
Wow. Yeah, it's really interesting to hear you talk about these things because these are things that I don't think about a ton as an accompanist. So it's nice to actually dwell on it for a second.
Happy to help. You know, I really worked hard for that Strauss on All Saints Day.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you for it because it was beautiful.
Thank you.
So, is there anything else, just wrapping up, that you think the community should know about you as a person, you as a musician? Not to put you on the spot.
You know, I'm really happy to be here. I love to use my voice to be a conduit and to help others worship. And I think the last thing people should know about me is that I love my rescue dog named Zoe. And when I'm not here singing, I'm usually off in the woods somewhere, trying not to slip on the slippery rocks. I'm so excited to be part of this community, and I look forward to sharing more music with you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you guys very much for joining us.